Hey guys, so this is my summer shimmer look. As you can see, we've got a lot of golds and bronzes on the eyes as well as a bit of browns, and it's basically a really good look for summer. So if you're going out to a party or hanging out with friends, this is the perfect look. So stay tuned to see how I achieve this. So what I've done already is I simply added my primer, which I'm using the Face of Australia Face Primer 3-in-1. It's really good because it also acts as a moisturizer and sunscreen, and personally for me, sunscreen's really important to use, especially in summer, because you want to make sure you protect your skin. And I've just gone over it with my foundation. I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me in the Dewy and Smooth one in 235. I'm using the Dewy color instead of a matte because it is a summer look. I want to make sure my skin's got that sun-kissed glow to it. If you also have a primer with a shimmer in it, you can use that as a primer because that would also work well, but you got to make sure that you don't want to over shimmer your face because your eyeshadow is already going to be shimmery. Okay, so now we're going to start off with our eyes. I'm just going to use a quick primer just to prime my eyes and make sure that my eyeshadow lasts longer. So the color I'm going to start off with, my base color, is I'm using the W7 Sexy Eyes. I'm using number 2. I'm just using this golden shimmer color. So I'm just going to apply that to 1/3 of my eye lid. Just making sure that I actually pat on the color so I get a really nice shimmer to it and I add a lot of pigment to it. So I'm just going to pat that onto 1/3 of my eye, like so. So the next color I'm going to use is I'm using the Rimmel London Glam'Eyes HD in number 2 English Oak. So that's a really nice brown palette like that. And I'm just going to be using this kind of brown color that you can see that's in the crisscross of the flag. So I'm just going to apply that to onto the second half of my eyelids. And similar to what we're going to do with the shimmer is we're just going to pat that on, like so. Now we're going to be moving on to my crease. I'm using Prestige Palette's My Secret Lip and Face Palette, and I'm just going to be using this kind of brownish goldy color. It has a little bit of shimmer into it, but it's actually quite matte when you actually apply it on. And what I'm going to do with that color is I'm going to apply it to my crease and work it slightly upwards towards my brow. So just putting a little bit in the crease and then moving slightly upwards, like so. So you should look something like this right now. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to work my corner of my eyelid and underneath my brow. And what I'm using is the Almay, I'm not sure what palette, Intense Eye Color palette. And I'm using this really nice brown, bronzy kind of color. So I'm going to apply that to 1/3 as well as underneath. And I'm going to be using this brush over here. So just apply a bit of color, tap off the excess, and I'm going to only just do 1/3 of the eyelid, making sure to blend it in, and I'm just going to go a little bit underneath as well. So 1/3 underneath. Actually, you can just move it actually halfway. Okay, so now I've done most of the look, we're going to go over with the shimmer. I'm using the NYX Ultra Pearl Mania. I'm using Mink Pearl, I think. So it looks something like that, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply it over 1/3 of my eyeshadow, over the base of my eyelid. And like the first color, I'm also just going to pat that on to make sure I get a lot of pigment. And this color, you've got to be really careful because it's really quite shimmery. So you don't want to overdo it. So now that I've done most of my eyes, I'm just going to do my brows quickly. So I guess everyone has their own way of doing their brows. For me personally, I'm using the Face of Australia HD Brow Definition Kit. So it looks something like this. And I'm just going to be using the brow wax in the dark brown color for my eyebrows, making sure to use short strokes across my eyebrows. And making sure just to go really light because this color can be quite intense sometimes. So just on my brows, and what I like to do afterwards is just to add a concealer underneath and over the top just to sharpen my eyebrows. But also I like to use a lighter concealer underneath, which acts almost like a highlight for underneath your brow bone. So just add a bit of that. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly blend it in with the rest of the eyeshadow. And using that color that we applied to our crease, I'm not going to add any color, but I'm just going to use the same brush and just blend it into the eyeshadow just to get this seamless blend, just get seamless blending all over. So now we're going to work our way onto our eyeliner. So what I like to do first is, just because I've added a lot of shimmer to my lids, is I like to go over with a pencil and then I go over with my eyeliner just to make sure that my eyeliner is really, really intense and matte when I apply it over the eyeshadow. So now that I've just done my pencil over just the top of my eyelids, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over with my eyeliner and I'm just going to do a slight flick at the ends. Not too much, because you want the focus to be on your actual eyeshadow itself. So we're going to be moving on to mascara next. I'm using the Rimmel Volume Flash ScandalEyes in Extreme Black. And I'm just going to go over my eyeshadows, just going to focus on the top of my eyelashes first. So now that we've done most of our eyes, we're going to be moving on to concealer. So I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me in 35, and I'm just going to apply it almost like a highlighter to my face as well. So I'm just going to be putting it in the T-zone areas. So now that I've just applied my concealer, I'm just going to blend that in with the same sponge with my makeup. So now that I've added my concealer, I'm just going to quickly fix the bottom of my eyeshadow, the bottom lash line of my eyeshadow underneath. And what I'm also going to do is I'm going to apply that Pearl NYX colour underneath my lash line with a very small angled brush. Now that I've done the bottom lashes, as you can see, I've done the brown underneath and then blended it with the gold that we put on our lid. So now I'm just going to highlight the inner corners of my eyes just to finish off this look. The eye makeup at least, and I'm just going to apply a little bit. I'm using the Red Earth Shimmer eyeshadow. Any highlight will do, just a really, really light shimmery colour. I'm just going to put that on the inside of my eyelids and making sure to blend it with the eyeshadow as well. This is just going to brighten your eyes and widen up your eyes as well. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to finish off our look by contouring our face slightly. So I'm using the Barry M Chisel Cheeks Contour Kit. It looks like this. For people of my skin color, tan and slightly darker, this is wonderful. If you have a bit of lighter skin, I'm not sure how this would go, but using just a straight brush, and I'm just going to apply it to the bottom of my cheeks, just blend it in so slightly, and this is just going to finish the look. Because it is a summer glow look, we want to make sure that we really bronze up our features as well as add a lot of shimmer to it, just to match with the eyeshadow. Just going to move that middle colour now and work it way slightly up the cheeks, because you're really looking for that sun-kissed kind of look. We're going to apply the blush. I'm using the Red Earth Luxe Illuminating Blush in Beach Goddess. It looks like this. As you can see, I've used it quite a lot. There's a series of like 5 colours on this palette, but I'm just kind of mixing them up with my kabuki brush. I'm just going to apply it to the apples of my cheeks ever so slightly. Like so. Next, I'm going to just go over with a setting spray. I'm using the Maybelline Master Fix by Face Studio. This just helps your makeup to last a little bit longer, so I'm just going to spray it on myself. So once the setting spray is set, we're going to just finish it off with a highlighter. I'm using the BYS Blush and Bronze. Oh my gosh, that's a handful. And it looks like this. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use a fan brush and just go over it. This is a perfect bronzer just to finish off your look. And it would really give you that illuminating beach goddess kind of look. So I'm just going to apply that to the highlight of my, just highlight my cheeks. A bit on my nose. And the last little bit is we're going to finish it off with a lipstick. So I'm using the Wet n Wild matte lipsticks, the Bare It All. So it looks like this. I'm just going to apply it to my lips just to finish off the look. This is what your final look should look like, hopefully. So, hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe if you liked the look. If you have any requests, just leave them in the comments below. And I'll see you soon.